Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and welcome to 2024 here on the Upper Texas Coast.
Here we are.
Real Estate Talk with Beth, 2024.
2024. We're talking about December.
2.4. Let's call it 2.4.
I'm going to say we're going to roar in 2024.
Roar.
But we're talking about December today.
Yeah, and so you're going to see over the next 2 weeks, this week and next week, we're going to wrap up all of last year.
Right.
And we're going to hit the ground running about the middle of the month.
Are you going to make predictions?
I've got my cap. Wait till you see what I've got.
Okay, I can't wait.
So the first Monday of every month, we do a market report for the month previous, which was December. And so today we're going to talk about the market report for December. And then next week, we're going to look at 2024 as a whole.
As a whole, right.
And
then we're going to look at
I'm
what
going to give
happened in 23.
my predictions.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. We'll see how good he is.
Okay, get your clicker. Let's get this show going.
I want to go back to the 2023 end of year show, or where we recap for 2022 and see what your predictions were then.
I didn't have any predictions.
We'll see about that.
Because I wasn't quite as smart then.
It's osmosis.
I've educated myself over the last year. So
just to refresh this, and we talked about this week, I pulled these numbers from the Houston Association of Realtors, MLS.
And she's not going to say this, but I'm going to. The Houston Association of Realtors is a much larger spectrum as far as the pool of realtors that use it. They're averaging around 5,000 realtors, if I'm not mistaken, as to where the GAR, Beaumont, all those are a lot smaller. And so we may miss, if something was listed just in GAR,
it wouldn't be
in this. But out of when my colleague did some research, out of 200, we were off
like 15.
15. So this is a much in-depth report that we can get from the Houston MLS and gives you a good general overview, because this is an average. And so, it's going to be a give and take a little bit, but it is from the Houston Association of Realtors MLS.
So I only pull from Houston MLS, and I only look at Bolivar Peninsula. I go from the ferry to High Island. I don't include High Island. Okay. I stop at the turn, and then from the beach to the bay.
Okay.
So that's all that we're including in this.
Right.
Okay, so we got that covered. So let's go. So for the month of December, our average sold price, that's everything, was $485,000. That's a good number. The average sales price compared to November was down $27,000. So we came down a little bit, not too much, but down a little bit. The average price per foot was $339 sold. You always want to remember that's sold. And that's down $23 from the month before. I decided not to do percentages. I did the actual numbers, so you know. There's 282 houses on the market in MLS right now.
That number, and it stayed pretty much around 280.
Yeah, for the past...
I think one time it went up to maybe 289.
288, 289, but we've been in that 280 mark.
It's been at that 280 mark, but let's look at another slide.
Okay, here we go. So that's down just 7 houses from the month before.
Okay.
So that's not a lot of change there. The average price per foot for the homes that are active is $388, which is not that far. Well, wait a minute. What was that average sold? Hold on. I did this last time too. It was $339. So we are off. So folks, that target number you want to be at is the $339 instead of the $388.
And it depends on whether it's beachfront or bayside or 7 rows back too is going to be. This is just an average of everything.
Right. And we go more in depth. And that is down from the month before. So things are coming down a little at a time.
And it's been coming down for the last 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We have 35 months of inventory.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
In fact, I was talking to someone the other day and I said, man, I can remember when we had 140 houses and we thought that was quite a few. And then I think it jumped up to 150 houses. This was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so, and that's, you know, people don't realize what the pandemic did to us down here.
That's a whole different show.
You really can't look at, in my perspective, you can't look at the last 3 years.
Mm-mm.
Because in 2020, 21, and 22, we were under the pandemic. And for us down here, it was the perfect storm because we got a lot of visitors down here. There wasn't a business down here that wasn't way up in those years, you know, because
we just didn't know. I mean,
but now we're back to reality and
Yeah.
really under reality a little bit because now we've also got the interest rate that's a little bit higher than what it was.
in
Because you and I
2000.
talked
We
about
did.
this
We
the other
brought
day.
that up.
It was up maybe 3% from 2019.
Right.
So, you know, it's hard to look at the last 3 years and really get a good average because that wasn't typical years.
No. And that, you know, that's not just in real estate. That's in
everything.
Yeah, across the board. So the average days on the market for the sold properties is 110, and that's down from the month before. We had 8 properties go into contract. That's not enough to start eating up those 35 months of inventory.
But
I know, we're going to get there. Okay. We only had 55 houses that either expired, terminated, or withdrew.
that's down because
That
it was
is
100
way
and some.
down. So what that could mean is that some of the houses that did expire just decided to go ahead and relist before they actually expired, so they didn't hit this number.
Okay.
Or some people just decided not to sell, which is surprising because at the end of the year, it's usually when a lot of listings drop off.
Right.
So maybe they did just go ahead and relist. So this breaks it down on where you're at on the peninsula, whether you're beachfront, first row, second row, third back, Bayside. So beachfront, we had 2 properties that sell, and we got a good number on that. Oh, we have balloons. Well, that's exciting.
Oh, that's over there.
Oh,
That's on another monitor.
okay. Okay. Can I continue?
Yep.
Okay,
Let's
so
go.
we had 2 houses that sold that were beachfront, and they averaged at 432, which is a good number. I'm thinking, you know, beachfront, you know, depends on how big it is, what the property is. You're 450, 550, just depending on what you got there. First and second row, the average is 327. We had 1 sell. Third and back, the average was 300. On the dot, we had 3 sell. In the Bayside, we had 2. The average was 351. And that number is maintaining pretty high because those are basically newer houses, small, really small houses that are selling on the Bayside. In the beachfront, you're usually looking at the larger houses. But all those numbers are down, which means that we're trying to get to that actual that sold number.
Well, and it's the end of the year, and typically it's slower this time of year than it is maybe in March, April, or May. And so,
you know, and on the year-end report, I'm going to look and see how we are as to list price ratio versus the sold price.
Okay.
How much of a difference did we take there? Were we right on pricing? Which we weren't. So here's our statistics, and this is where you wanted to drill home.
you know, everyone says the real estate market's in shambles right now, or it's a tough
Across the
deal.
country it is.
Okay. But when you look at 2019 December and 2023 December, we're off one house.
Right.
Okay, but one house is off, but the price per square foot in 2019 was $223 and in 2023 was $339.
Right.
And so the markets, we have a big inventory. That's the problem we have.
Yeah.
As far as the sales, and we saw this last month too when I was watching it, we were off one house. from 2019. So, like I said, it's hard to look at 2021 and 22 because those weren't typical years. I mean, look at 2021 in December. You had 51 houses.
And the average was 344.
Yeah, 344 a square foot.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're going to see.
We had a great December that year. I remember it.
And so, anyway, that's my input on, what's the real estate market really like? Well, yes, we've got a big inventory, and so your house is going to be there longer. But if your house is priced right, and it comes down to this, we don't have a surplus of buyers, we have a surplus of homes. Right. So you can't just go out there and shoot a number. And we're going to do a show on what Beth brings to the table for buyers or sellers, and it'll cover some of this. But the way I look at it, we're off one house, but we gained $100 a square foot.
Exactly, that's great.
It's not that, as far as homes closed, I don't think it's that bad. Yes, we have an over inventory, 110 days, and that's probably...
That's on the market. That's sold houses on the, that's how long it took, but you have a 35-month supply. So we only had 8 houses.
That's almost 3 years.
Yeah, we only had 8 houses sell in December.
Right.
We know by the numbers that December is a slow month.
Right.
So, that number's going to change next month, that 35
Except
month.
for 2021, and there's a lot of people running to the bank then, both homeowners and realtors.
Yeah. So if you're serious about selling, then you really need to drill in on those numbers and see where you need to be.
And that's where a local realtor that knows the area and does her homework or his homework really comes in, because we're past the iPhone photos, we're past the just throwing a number out there because you think you can get them. Now it's all about studying the market, studying the homes, comparing
the market
to other homes on the market and what you have to offer, and then the amenities that you have to offer. Really harp on those amenities, because that could differentiate you from another house that people are looking at.
It's an amenity war out there. Yep. Yeah. So I think...
Is that it?
That's us.
That's it.
That's us. That's
There's
the
your
end of the 2020.
December 2024 market report with Bolivar Live Real Estate.
December 23. We're in January
December
24.
December 23. Sorry about that. So once again, we do these shows every Monday at 10:30. The first Monday of the month, we always give a look at the market report for the previous month. Next week, we're actually going to look at 2023 as a whole and compare it, which we've seen some of the numbers, compare it as a year from 2019 through 2023 and look at each year, and then stay tuned, because
I can't wait.
I've got one out, and we've almost hit it several times as far as the first quarter of 2023, but I'm going to give my analysis of 2024.
So yeah.
If she's
it's going to be great in 2024, y'all. I'm so excited for it.
So
yeah,
we're going to head on out. Remember, you can catch Bolivar Live anytime on our social media channels and Bolivar Live TV on Roku and Amazon Fire. You can also find us online at bolivarlivetv.com. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live with Beth Terminella from 110 Realty Group. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye. 110 Realty Group on Bolivar Peninsula, located in Crystal Beach, Texas, believes finding the perfect home or property is a necessity for every client, that it's crucial to provide relevant, up-to-date information on the market, properties, and homes for sale to each and every seller or buyer. Keeping up with the market in today's world is how 110 Realty Group exceeds expectations for their clients. 110 Realty Group in Crystal Beach, Texas are your real estate sales professionals, both in beach home sales and property sales. Finding the perfect custom home on Bolivar Peninsula is a specialty of Beth Terminella. Keeping up with the daily changes and available homes, properties, and the changing market makes 110 Realty Group the choice for several custom builders for spec homes and investors looking for short-term rentals, along with home buyers looking for that perfect beach house for their family.
110 Realty Group for all your real estate needs on Bolivar Peninsula in Galveston County and across Texas.